Hi, welcome to Budgetara and my first YouTube video. I wanted to give you a little background. I have been budgeting for about 10 years. I originally started budgeting kind of based off of Dave Ramsey, but I really struggled with the percentages because my income was so low back then. Eventually, I just started writing down bills on a sheet of paper, and then everything else left was for spending. I found the Budget Mom years later and used her method for about a year and a half straight before I just couldn't do it anymore. It was a lot of paperwork and a lot of filling out the same numbers over and over again, and I got really tired of all of that. So I moved on again and went to using the Every Dollar app, and I liked it, but it gave me a month view, and it's really hard for me to budget from a month to month basis because my income um, we get money weekly, and so I would be like, oh, well, I could pay that later. I'm getting more money at the end of the month, and I was overspending in a lot of categories. So I did some researching and I tried the cash envelope method, but I bought all these books and envelopes and I had all these cash, and it was just a lot to manage for me. Like seeing all these different little cash categories, and I had $10 here, but I really needed $30 and I didn't want to move the money and steal from other categories. So um, I ended up with YNAB, or You Need a Budget, about a month and a half ago, and I have just completely fallen in love with it and decided to start tracking my financial journey with it. So, YNAB is what you're seeing right now. This is my September budget, and since we're at the end of the month, I figured I'd do a walkthrough of my categories. At the very front, I have my credit card payment. This is the only credit card I am currently still using. I use it and I pay it off um, pretty much weekly for the transactions I've used it for. It does have a balance on it, but I always add a little bit extra as I'm trying to work that budget down. We really only have three main categories in our budget. We have our fixed, our flex, and our future expenses. And this is based off of one of the um, employees at YNAB. I watched a YouTube video and she recommended to do this, and I really like it. So I'll jump into our fixed expenses. We have daycare for our son, mortgage, and don't come at me. I know my mortgage is really low, and that's because we live in a very small two-bedroom home in a rural state. So it is very cheap. Um, Eventually, we would like to get a bigger house, but we just love having a very cheap mortgage. It lets us live a very decent middle class life. We've got our trash bill, iTunes, electric, and water are coupled together in one bill. And then I've got a Target credit card and student loans, but we're not making payments on those right now. Centerpoint is our gas company, and then I have a Maurice's credit card. My husband has a Bass Pro credit card and a Bank of America credit card, and then we have a Kohl's credit card that we used for our son's clothing, as well as some household items, miscellaneous clothes. I have an auto loan that comes out on the 10th every month. We have Walmart credit card, Credit One, and Capital One cards. We're in a lot of debt, obviously. And then we have our phone and TV, which are bundled together, hence why our bill is high. Our phones should be paid off, one at the end of this year and then one early next year, so that bill will decrease as well. And then hopefully we'll just start saving for that going forward. Progressive is auto insurance, our internet bill, Netflix, of course, and then we have a boat payment for about $281 a month. The interest and fees tab is for my Bank of America credit card, but right now I am interest free. So I don't add anything there, but once that starts, I will. Our next tab is our flex category, or flexible spending. This includes groceries and household items. And for me, household items include anything you can buy at a grocery store. So shampoo, medications, toiletries, just anything. Our dog food and cat litter come from there. Our restaurant is both fast food and sit down dining. We have always struggled with eating out. Obviously, we spent $320, almost our grocery budget last month, on eating out. Our family spending is anything we do as a family, whether that be we all go to Target and get something, or we go to the movies together. That's all of us together. That way it doesn't come out of anybody's one budgeting. Our son's category goes towards any extracurriculars or his weekly commission from his chores. It also goes to buying him toys. So just anything I buy for him comes out of that category. Then I have mom category, which is me. My money comes from here, and you'll see also we don't have a gas category for our automobiles, and that's because our gas money comes from our spending monies because it's so flexible. And I just found over time it was easier to track, especially with my husband, because I don't watch where he spends his money. He just gets his money and then spends it wherever he wants. And you'll see his categories a lot higher than ours. Years and years ago, I just decided to allow him to have a bigger budget because he was always spending all of his money and then borrowing more and more money. So it just became easier to say, okay, you can have more money. It does affect us, in our goals, but for now, this is what works and that's what he likes. And then the giving category I just added, and that would be for if we see something online that, somebody needs donations or needs help, we would put money here. Lastly is our future. These could be considered your savings or sinking funds. It's future spending to me. It's all the same though. So we've got taxes that are coming up due next month, our vacation. We were originally planning on taking a cruise, but with COVID and everything, I think we've decided to push that off. And then my husband's hunting. He needs some new hunting gear this year, so we're stocking that up through the end of next month. We've got Christmas, the yearly subscription to YNAB, our boat, and this includes boat maintenance, boat insurance. Holidays include all holidays except Christmas, and then birthdays, we usually like to have about $200 per person per birthday. So I'm saving about $50 a month there. We have our auto, and that is for maintenance and replacement eventually. Home is for maintenance, improvements, renovations, maybe a down payment eventually. It just depends on how stocked up that fund gets. Medical is doctor's visits, copays, dental, eye exams. All medical comes from there. I didn't want to break them out because I just didn't want 100,000 categories. Baby number two, eventually we would like to have another baby, so we'll start putting a little bit of money here and there for that. We've got clothing. Normally our clothing we all shop together at once, so it all will just all come out of there. But if my husband's in a store and sees a t-shirt and he likes it, that comes out of his money. Just an example there. Hair and beauty is haircuts for us or any type of beauty supplies, I would say. For me, we're not really putting anything in there yet. Beauty has always came out of my personal envelope, as well as haircuts comes out of each of our envelopes, but the boys usually get their haircut together, so it just made more sense to kind of compile that. And then this morning I actually added FIRE, or financial independence and retire early. We do have a goal of not working forever. We have worked obviously since we were teenagers, and it's just eventually you don't want to work for someone else anymore. So we want to be able to save up and retire and live our life to the fullest. Then I've also created a next month category that's basically just a placement category. Once money gets put into it, I hide the category and we don't use it again. And then below that, you'll see I have a wish list, but we don't actually keep money in there. Those are just items I'm tracking to see eventually we'll buy. Um, some of them are small, some of them are big. It's just really a running list of things that each of us wants. So overall, this is our budget, and it will change as time goes on since we're still fairly new to using this software. I'm pretty sure I'll change the categories up As we get our credit cards paid off, we'll decrease how many fixed bills we have, but overall you'll see it pretty well remains the same. I'm set up on a lot of accounts to be levelized or whatever, so I can have an exact money amount I'm budgeting each month for those categories. And so moving on, I will go ahead and show you our net worth, or our debt really. Currently, we have a negative net worth of about $85,250. A lot of that is our debt. We have credit cards, we have auto loan, we have student loan, we have a boat payment, and a mortgage included in that. I know a lot of people don't include their mortgage, but because ours is so low, I just went ahead and included it in it, and I wanted to see what that looked like. And so here I'll be tracking, kind of how our money goes, and I'm really excited to start this channel. My first budget with me using digital cash envelope method by paycheck will be up on Friday, October 1st. That is our first paycheck for us using this. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'm excited to be here. Bye.